Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I have one that I've been so excited to get to y'all. This is the BM Knife and Tool Field Spec Series EDC1 model. This knife at a regular price comes in at $190, but for all my awesome subscribers, if you use the code Stasa23, you can get $20 off till October 17th, 2021. And I really appreciate him doing that for y'all. That makes this even more exciting to review for y'all. These are a small batch production knife made. The OEM was Best Tech. And you can get it in this particular blade shape. You can get it in a Warncliffe blade shape, sheep's foot, drop point blade shape, or Tanto. So he covered all the blade shapes pretty much. And your handle scale options are this natural canvas micarta right here. You can get an OD or black canvas micarta. And it was really difficult for me to decide what configuration I wanted. So after going back and forth, I decided on the Warney blade shape with the natural canvas micarta. I just think that's going to be excellent. So let's get some specs out of the way so you can have an idea of how big or how small this knife really is. You have a total length of 6.68 inches. You have a blade length of 2.95 inches. You have a grip area from right here to the back over here of 3 3/4 of an inch, and you have a handle scale thickness from here to here of 0.44 inches and a blade stock thickness of 0.127 inches. The behind the edge thickness on this particular sample ranges from around 14 thousandths to about 18 thousandths at the thickest portion, give or take here or there. And before we talk any further about this knife, why don't we see how well it cuts? All right, we're going to test the factory sharpness. I'm going to do some cardboard cutting. Yeah, this thing's screaming sharp. Alrighty, it was breezing through the cardboard. Of course, this deep belly is not the best for cardboard slicing because it usually falls out of the cut, but it does have somewhat of a flat right there. One thing that I did notice, and I was kind of worried about, doing extended cutting like that, especially being that the scales get narrow right here. I would have liked to see some extra thickness in the back of the scales right here, and kind of like a Coke bottle. It would have been a lot easier to hold on to because I'm trying to hold on like this, and just something to note. But it sliced excellent. All right, we're gonna do a little wood shaving on this pine 2x4 just to test the ergos and see how well this edge is biting into the wood. Start off a light shaving, then I'll put a little pressure behind the cuts. All right, yeah, did a few little fine curls, then I started really digging into it. It was comfortable, but just like I said in the cardboard cutting, being that the handle narrows right here, it would not fatigue the hand. I was really having to grip that area tightly to make sure I was able to hold on to the knife. So like I said, if add some extra thickness here, make it like a Coke bottle, like so you can wrap around your hand better. That would the only thing that would make it a little better, but it performed very, very nicely, and it was comfortable. I think it would just been extremely comfortable, and it wouldn't fatigue my forearms as much if it had a little thicker of a handle. All right, we're gonna cut up some 1/2-inch twists. This is our rope. We'll try to do 20 or maybe 30, depending on how well it's cutting. Okay, this thing performed outstanding. I ended up doing 40 cuts because it was rather enjoyable. I was doing pretty much push cuts. You can see I was just pushing down. I hope I showed at least the first few of those before I sped it up, because wow, that was impressive. Let's see, where am I at? Right here in the front. I'm trying to look behind the camera. Yeah, it's still screaming sharp. All right, we're gonna be cutting up several different types of material. Some thick saddle leather, some 3/8-inch bungee cord, some seat belt material, two thicknesses, 1.25-inch dense tubing. I think it's 3/4-inch thick rubber tubing, and some blue jean denim. First, we'll get started on the seat belt. Nice. All right, it breathes through all the material. Of course, you're limited with a smaller blade, but you know, just seeing what this edge can handle, basically, it did good, even with this very large dense tubing, and it went through the seat belt without any issues whatsoever. Let's see. Yeah, it's still screaming sharp. I'm gonna go through some of this thick cardboard. This is to support corners of a box. It's pretty dense stuff. Let's see if we can get through this. Oh yeah, no problem. You can see it's that compressed cardboard. Yeah. All right. Alrighty, I hope y'all enjoyed that cutting footage. I definitely enjoyed making it for y'all. And let's take a closer look at this. You have a beautiful clip point blade, nice top swedge up here. Your tip's not too dainty to where you have to worry about, you know, snapping it off with anything you do. You have a nice high flat grind with a stone washed finished blade. Looks really, really nice. There you go. You can see that there. You have a sharpening tool right here, and you have the BM Knife and Tool logo up here on the front of the blade with the Field Spec series, so you know you can distinguish this from his customs. and the date 2021 right there. And on this side, you have the blade steel, which is Bowler M390. Excellent steel choice. And the knives are numbered out of 300. And, of course, this is a prototype. So this one's 0 of 300. I love the way they did that. What is it, a Spanish notch or whatever right here for the sharpening tool. Very, very nice. You get a good bit of sharpenings before that'll flare up. You can see where the plunge line is back here. Awesome job. Love seeing that. You do have a small row of jimping. It is wide cut jimping. It's not sharp. It's kind of rounded over right there. I'd call it, light to medium traction. You do have a nice flat portion right here for your thumb to land. And one thing that I noticed, I was using this knife a good bit just around the house, trying to get a feel for it besides the actual testing footage. And a lot of times I noticed I was loving this like pinch right here, just the way this handle is. I'd pinch it and I would either score it into something or put my finger up here so I could guide that tip, and that way I can make sure the tip doesn't go any further than my finger, puncturing into a box or something. Just a lot of, with a smaller fixed blade like this, EDC size, there's just a lot more, versatility of how you hold the knife. And that's why the Warney blade shape looks like, it'd be such a nice, detailed oriented knife, breaking down cardboard and stuff like that, in my opinion. Let's come back here. You have nice, the nice stuff, the good canvas micarta. This is American micarta. Very nice. And as you can see, it is 3D contoured, and they have softened the actual edge right here. Just kind of knocked off that 90-degree spot right there, so you don't have any sharp edges where that contour ends. I like the little divots right there, so if you want to do like a pinch grip right there to where you're holding on to the scale so you got something to pull back on, that's nice as well. I love the fact that they put screwed on scales instead of pinned on. That way, if you want to remove these scales to maybe clean underneath it, or change them out, the possibility is there. With pinned on scales, you either have to, grind that pin off and knock it out, and then try to pry the scale up if it's glued, which it probably is. But with this, you don't have to worry about it. And this nice T8 Torx. The fit and finish on the scales to the handle are nice. I don't feel any high spots. As you can see there's no voids to where there's, gaps in there. Everything's flat to the scale. You don't feel it on this side either. They match up right there. And they match up right there as well. Very, very nicely done. Best Tech does an amazing job, especially here lately. They've been killing it, in my opinion. But let's get some size comparisons out of the way. I'm going to try to keep... Oh, that's something I wanted to say. This bead does not come with the knife. This is, his personal prototype. So he put the bead on there. Somebody had asked me that in the last video. I mean, you can buy it. You can purchase your own bead and do the same thing if you like. It is a nice bead. I don't know if he made it or he bought it, but nice little brass bead. They do have the lanyard hole, obviously. And I'm not a big lanyard guy, but on a small fixed blade like this, it just makes sense. If you want to make sure it stays in your hand, you could tie a longer lanyard on and wrap it around your hand so it won't come flying out, or put your finger through it so it doesn't fly out of your hand. There's a lot of possibilities there. Or if the handle's too short for you, you tie like a thicker knot right here, and you have a little bit extra to hold on to right there. Just makes more sense, especially in the smaller knives like these. Let's get those size comparisons out of the way. I went through some of my favorite EDC fixed blades to do size comparisons with, and I know one of probably the most popular is the SE Azula 2. These two are very, very close inside and lengthwise. The Azula is just, I mean, a hair. I mirror polished mine after I did a little regrind action on it. The Azula is a hair longer. I mean, barely. You have pretty much the same exact grip area. And another good size reference is the ProTech SBR fixed blade. So if you have the SBR, you'll know you have pretty much the same handle as the SBR, except and even this section too, except this one has this deep choil on it. So if you don't have the fixed blade, if you have the automatic version, the SBR version of this automatic, it's the same size as well. So there's the first two. Two more. We have the Tops 3-pointer. The 3-pointer is more it's a 3-finger knife, 3-pointer. And it's a little bit shorter, and you have way more handle grip area than 3-pointer. And then you have this Schrade, what is it, the SCHF 57, which is also smaller. You have a little bit more handle grip area than the Schrade as well. And I figured I would put some folding knobs in there, since I do a lot of the folders. Here it is with the Spyderco PM2. So I can't really get that on frame, but let me back it down some. There you go, right here. The PM2 is a good bit larger. Let's go butt to butt. There you go. And let me focus that. And also the Spyderco Para 3. So it's a lot closer in size to the Para 3, but as you can see here, the Para 3 is a good bit longer overall. But I will show you this. From there to, let me make sure I'm lining that up. You have a more cutting edge than you do on the Para 3, which that's the benefits of a fixed blade, of course. And two budget option folders. Only reason I'm doing so many size comparisons because this is a prototype. All right, and you have the Ontario Rat Model 1 and Ontario Rat Model 2. So it's gonna, of course, be closer to the Rat Model 2. I'll tell you, I get a better grip on this one than the Rat 2. All right, and let's show off the Kydex. The Kydex are made by Best Tech. You have a nice positive click in there. There you go. No rattle whatsoever. I can't really fling it this way because you can hear the bead, but there you go. No rattle there. They have a nice push-off point right here, thumb push-off point that you can take it out. It comes with, I read that it comes with 2 soft loops, and also the sheath does have a small drainage hole. This is open, as you can see. Small drainage hole. That's a nice touch. So if your inside of your sheath gets wet, it will drain. Let's see. Nitpicks, complaints. I had to really, let me zoom back in. I had to really think hard about it. But minor nitpicks, I would have rathered a finer row of jimping. No, why is it not focusing there? I would have rathered a finer row of jimping, just because the wider row of jimping sometimes can be uncomfortable. But on the flip side of that, I mean, I can overshoot the jimping very easily, and you have a nice flat spot right here, so you don't have to put your finger on that jimping, or you can hold it in the hammer grip. In the pullback grip, you're not on there either. So not that big of a deal. The only thing I would have I would have liked to see slightly different, but you know, your opinion may differ than mine. The handle scale thickness is 0.44 inches, and I understand, you know, it's a smaller knife, but I would have much rather see the scales at around, say, 0.55. Let me show you, like on this SBR, these are 0.55, and they feel the hand out a little bit better, especially being that, you know, it gets skinny back here. And the only time that I really noticed is with extended cutting, or whenever I was pushing really hard through the wood. That's when you notice, because you're pushing and you're really going to have to stabilize that blade so the knife doesn't go turning in your hand. So you're going to squeeze even harder, therefore start to fatigue your forearms. And, you know, not the biggest deal in the world, because what I'll be using this is my normal day-to-day EDC task, and it doesn't really require me to cut a ton of stuff. And if it does, I'll pull out the folder that will be in my pocket. So, you know, I'm okay with that. I think it's designed more to be, you know, a nice knife to have on you as you need it for, you know, normal EDC tasks, not batoning or anything like that. It's M390 steel, so, you know, it's made for edge retention purposes. So there you go. I hope I did this knife justice, and I hope y'all enjoyed. If you didn't get in on this and you want to, definitely go do it now, because I don't know if he'll be doing another run of these after these are gone or not. And I'm sure he'll be in the comments, so if y'all have any questions, y'all can probably ask him down below. All right, guys and girls, I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.